Welcome back, friends, to another episode of Live at the Roxy. Another week in quarantine. We did it. That definitely deserves a pat on the back and an even bigger pat on the back today because something else amazing we did. We got a huge guest in the house today. She's
slow
my
down,
friend.
slow down, slow down.
No, nothing to slow down. She's my friend, but you guys also know her because, of course, Schmodown and AEW and all the incredible things she does. Jenn Sterger in the house.
Yay! Yeah, I'm repping my Schmodown shirt right now.
Yo, you're repping everything right now. Like, the second she came on, I was like, oh no, I forgot. Like, my face next to your face right now, I look so washed out and like just my hair. I can't.
I think you mean I look orange. I don't think you mean you look washed out. But
No.
to be fair, I've been doing some on-camera stuff still, like that I'm having to self-produce myself. And one of them is like kind of beach themed with the show that I'm working on with Cody, like as a replacement for our radio show since we're furloughed. And I was like, I can't be doing a show called Swing Break, which is clearly spring break, but like play on words. I can't be doing a show called Swing Break and be pale as fuck.
You don't look orange at all. You look like you have an amazing tan to you. And it has been warm out, so I figured maybe you were just finding a way to lay out or something. Have you not been outside?
No, girl, I haven't been outside since 2008. So like that's nothing new to me. You know, like I don't tan very well. I do tan, but
You have that skin that would.
But then I get freckles. So like I also get freckles because I mean my parents need to answer a lot of questions about my heritage at this point. But my dad had melanoma, so like I take that stuff really seriously.
Yeah.
So I don't go out and get like actual tans. It's just way safer to do it with the stuff in the bottle.
Wait, so what are all the things that you're filming right now? I know you just said Swing Break, but what are the things? I know you're working on AEW stuff from home, all the stuff you got going on with Cody. Like, what is everything that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I've become an expert at building home studios at this point.
Damn.
I'm still doing stuff for AEW, but like it's from a home studio, you know, and it's basically they've been really cool about letting us submit things to them about you know, at our own leisure and like kind of create our own character storylines and like our own roles right now because this isn't normal.
Right,
like,
of course.
And everyone needs to stop like telling themselves like this isn't normal. You know what I mean? None of this is real. None of this is normal. Like this is not what our lives are normally like. And I feel like that's why we're all having to make adjustments right now in different aspects of our life, you know?
It's super easy to forget that. And I do all the time. And I slip into that circle. And one of the things I do want to talk about today is the ways that we are staying sane, because I'll spiral into like, is this life? Is this what it is? And is this it forever? And, you know, then I get super meta about it. And I think about like, what if in 20 years from now, we're still doing this and I'm just alone by so I hear you with the, this isn't normal. And even just saying that out loud is important. Like, wait, this is not normal. There will be a time in life in which I leave my house again.
Yes.
And I see other people. And that doesn't mean we're going to go back to the way things were, but it's not going to be like this forever.
It's so crazy to me because I don't feel like I have to be a social person because of what we do for a living. But I'm also the kind of person that's like, I'm perfectly capable of sitting on my couch and entertaining myself for hours on end and not being okay about it. I think the one thing that's made me feel better about it that I used to guilt myself over was I used to get serious FOMO. Like seeing all my
FOMO. You don't have that anymore?
No, how can I have FOMO? We're all sitting around doing the same shit. We're like, none of us are doing anything.
I don't know, kind of though, like, because you see all, I think it's different because you get to like be quarantined with your hubby. Like I see all these celebrities and they're like posting pictures, cooking dinner with their person or like making out. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so alone.
No, that is the trap that everyone gets stuck in.
I'm in the trap.
Don't look at those people and think that they've got it easier, okay? Because I cannot tell you how many moments that something that is just the tone you say something to something, so the tone you say something in can be perceived as something that is antagonistic or just like sassy when you're just like, you're both going to get on each other's nerves. So if you're quarantined right now with someone, find a way to have time apart, even if you're in a small space. Like our living room is also our gym. So like the gym gets kind of crowded sometimes. And I'm like, we have to sign up. I'm going to make a sign up sheet for when you want to work out.
Wait, so what are you doing for gym stuff? Do you have equipment? Like what's your deal?
I wish I could take my camera over to show you my gym equipment that I have right now.
Yeah.
Because basically my gym equipment is this. I fell for an Instagram ad.
Oh, girl, I'm about to relate to you so hard in a minute, but okay, tell me more. What did you fall for?
I fell for this thing on Instagram called the Booty Sprout.
Okay. I like the name. I need a good booty. Mm-hmm.
It's a booty sprout. It's basically it's like a ledge that it folds out. Everything folds out and then it folds back in so I can store it in my closet. So that box, it checks off.
Okay.
But it was really, after I got it, I was like, why did I get something I could only do one exercise with? But then that whole get creative part of your brain like starts to kick in. You're like, I can do more exercises than just like booty exercises on this.
Wait, so is it almost like a bar?
No, it's not a bar. It's more of it's for hip thrust. So it's almost like doing hip thrust off a bench. But because we don't have weights in our house, I have these bungee cords. And the bungee cords can weigh up to 250 pounds. So I'm actually getting to lift heavier things than someone who's trying to make fake weights at their house. You know what I mean?
You mean me when I use my wine bottles? Because that's what I use.
No, Cody, I don't need you to demonstrate it. But we can't move the camera over there.
We can pick that up and show it.
Demonstrate.
Do you really want to see my home gym? My house is a mess right now.
I want to see it. We want to see it.
This is so ridiculous.
Want to see
Hang on. This is so ridiculous. If I do this booty sprout thing for all your viewers, you have to donate to Roxy. Okay.
Yes, put it in the Streamlabs.
Oh my God.
Chat. Let's get that booty sprout.
I don't know how we're going to do this. Cody's like lifting it up to try to show you guys.
You're going to do it in the best of ways. We're going to do it the best we can. I don't even know if you can hear me right now because you don't have your headphones in. Oh my God. This place is perfect. You said it was messy. It looks amazing. Oh, okay.
So there go my headphones. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can hear this.
Yeah, we can. We're good. We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. If you're a terrible camera operator. Okay, right there. Okay, look.
The home gym.
Roxy, this is my booty sprout, okay?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
So it folds down and like into itself, right?
Okay.
And then these bands, you're not supposed to have them like this, but I was doing kickbacks with them because I'm a psychopath.
No, you're not psycho. You're amazing.
So you like put these like this.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I'm with you so far.
I'm such a psycho. Again,
you're not a psycho. You're perfect.
Bought this on an Instagram ad, impulse buy.
I'm so into this right now.
So anyways. So you have to like
best cameraman
down
ever.
before you do all this shit. I'm already
got the dog.
Wrong. I'm never doing a job on QVC. Kevin, get out of my way.
Kevin.
This is Kevin. He's my personal trainer.
Kevin,
out of my way. Don't angle it from that angle because they're just gonna look right up my crotch.
Yeah, come on now, Cody.
Over here.
Jesus.
Anyways.
Oh, this is amazing. I'm so happy right now.
Anyways, so you strap in. For life.
Yeah, It's like a roller coaster ride. Wait, this is incredible. Exactly. I wish I saw this Instagram ad.
Put the little belt here because otherwise these things will like chafe the hell out of you.
Yeah, totally. I'm with you.
On the back bar like this. And you're just doing these.
Oh, yeah. Jen in the house.
Anyway,
she did it.
That's like 100 pounds or so as far as I think.
That was fucking awesome. Again, I don't think you can hear me, but that was fucking awesome.
I have my sliders, right?
Yeah, what are those? What's a slide? For the things with the feet.
Sliders, you put your feet on them. So I use them for like Pilates type moves. Hope you're enjoying my cleavage.
Yes, yes, we are.
So then you have that. But so I was looking at this booty sprout thing and I was like, how can I make this like more functional? So then I started like using the bands to do like rows.
Yeah.
Like down rows. Exactly.
Wait,
right.
I need that shit. Oh, I should have contacted you before I bought the shit that I bought last night.
What did you buy?
Oh, you can hear me. I didn't even think you could.
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
I bought some QVC stuff, dude. I don't even know what happened. I've never ordered one thing off of QVC. It came up. I bought okay.
You keep buying home gym equipment from Marie Osmond. What are you doing?
I what I'm doing is staying up till 4 a.m. and making stupid decisions. That's what I'm fucking
I'm
doing.
already sweating. Like I'm not even.
I need to be on the Jenn workout team.
So look,
like, yes.
Second thing I started doing this with though is kickback. So I was doing them like.
Oh, that's great. Wait, this was an awesome purchase.
Right?
Yeah, you were saying it like it wasn't good. This is a great purchase.
I just hate the name. I think they could have thought that one through a little more. It just sounds kind of dumb. You know what I mean? Like Booty Sprout sounds like a gay club, you know?
Yeah. But I'm not mad at
that.
I'm not mad at that. I
bought a great purchase that's super cheap is this band. They're like, and you buy them like
oh yeah.
They come rolled up like almost like the bands that you wrap your arms with if you get injured.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started doing this. So I've got like this like bar underneath my couch.
Oh, okay.
You can just find any kind of horizontal bar in your house. Wrap that shit together twice to try to make it a little more, give it a little more resistance.
Yeah.
I'm coming out of this shredded, okay?
I like can't even believe it. I've gained 15 pounds and I've got a nice round face thing going on and you look fucking ripped. It's not nice.
So then you can do stuff like this.
Damn, dude. Damn.
You do the opposite, you know? See, look, that booty sprout and me eating.
Really good. Wait, raise your hand if you feel like shit about yourself at home. Everybody put your hands up. Everybody. I need to be on this plan.
Tricep pullbacks, you know, like you're doing these, but this is way too much weight. I would have to do the single version. Basically, if all this, my second career, if all this doesn't work out for me and like we stuck in quarantine, I'm just going to become a home gym person. And I'm just going to teach people how to work out at home.
Well, I need that. I need like actual links to all of these things to buy. You're killing it. Also, just so you know,
I'm not allowed to use it anymore because I clipped him in the nuts with it. Nearly took out his equipment with this equipment. Because I was stepping on it and it hurt my feet. And so I stepped off and he was standing behind me.
Oh, and it snapped him. Oh,
so I just snapped him right in the junk.
Oh, shit. Cameron Rice says, let Cody know he can be new cameraman.
Nope. Cameron, you're still hired. You still have a job.
I'd rather put a gun in my mouth.
I got to say, I don't think your camera is quite as good as him. Cody, you're doing okay, but not as
I'm literally picking up a whole laptop and not seeing what I'm doing.
I'm so sweaty.
That was incredible. Larry Lee says, here's some for the cute dog. Go, Kevin. Work it, Kevin. That was freaking incredible. I can't even believe like what you're doing. I have to show you some of my stuff. Also, Cam said, hey, you too. Cam, you're the shit. Thanks for being in here. I have to show you. I bought a elliptical, but not the elliptical part. It's just a floor elliptical. Literally, it's like it is an elliptical on the floor. It's without the top part. It's just the slider part. And I've been trying to fucking use it. It is so hard. So then last night I bought a fold up, what's it called? The recumbent bike that's also a stand-up bike, but it folds up like an ironing board. It's not going to be any good, but I bought it anyway. I watched all these people ride it on QVC and I was like, if they can do it, I can too. I'll text you and let you know when it comes, how it goes. Doubt it's going to be as good as booty sprout, booty pop.
I'm sweating so hard right now from doing nothing.
You did a lot. Are you kidding? You moved more than most people move.
Turn our air conditioning on, Cody, for the love of God. But no, I'm coming out of this shredded.
I love that.
If that's what you were asking me, you're like,
yes.
How do you stay sane? And I'm like, you have to have like set a schedule for yourself and you have to have like goals. You know what I mean? As dumb as that sounds, like something as simple as just setting a goal.
So what are you doing? Working out every day?
Not every day. But I try to do it at least 5 times a week.
Yeah.
If I don't work out, then I go for an extra long walk with the dog. You know what I mean? Like that's the other thing.
Yeah.
I've also been I've been real estate shopping a lot. I've been G shopping. I wish I could have that. All the houses in my neighborhood. You know what I mean? So like
damn.
I've been going through all
I do that too. I do that too. And then I really upset myself the other day because I started trying to figure out how much money I need to buy a house. And I was going through my neighborhood and Zillowing the price of them.
You want how much for that shithole?
It's like literally
Wait,
tiny.
am I allowed to cuss? I forgot
Oh,
to
fuck
ask
yeah,
you.
you are. It's
Okay,
allowed
just
to be
making
Roxy.
sure.
You say whatever you want. I literally went through and I was like, oh my God, this house is tiny. It's literally the smallest house I've ever seen, and it's $1.5 million. Like, what am I ever going to do? By the way, guys, in the super chat, Larry Lee says, hit that like button, rock stars. Do it for Zaflirt and Flouse. Have you seen this whole thing about Zaflirt and Flouse? That's what they call Brett Sheridan because he put this like curly Q thing on his head, and he's now this German character. I don't fucking know. Christian makes them come in here and say it. It's a whole goddamn thing. It's a whole thing.
I saw it. I think it's a little too meta for me. I don't understand it.
That's what everybody's like. You seem
understand it?
No, I don't know because people think it's funny, and everybody's like, Roxy, you seem over it. I'm like, I'm not over it. I don't care. It's fine, but I don't get it. So
it's kind of how I used to look at Robot Chicken that way, where I would watch it and I'd be like, this show is so dumb. And then I smoked weed and I watched Robot Chicken and I was like, this is genius.
Damn, maybe that's the key. Maybe I need to get high and look at Zaflirt and Flouse.
I didn't understand it. I was like,
that happens to me.
I can't even like just the hashtag for it, where I was just like, I can't pronounce it. I was like, this feels like it's being poorly marketed.
What's the hashtag? It's not Robot Chicken?
It's Zaflirt and Flouse or whatever.
The Flirt and Flouse one. Yeah, me too. I don't get it.
I was like, I don't understand it.
And Brett says it has two different spellings. I don't know. Going back to the important things in the world, Danny Koss says, you sold me, Jen. Booty sprout workout plan.
I mean, for some reason, I don't know if it's just the fact that I can't stay away from my refrigerator or if it's the fact that I'm doing these and I'm eating a lot more, that I'm just building like a huge ass.
The eating thing is so tough for me right now because the first couple weeks of quarantine, I was like, great, I'm eating fish and veggies and like all clean. And then we're here for so many weeks that now I'm like Pop-Tart, pasta, ramen, whatever the fuck it is. Like, I just can't even be bothered anymore.
Andrew says we missed we missed super chats.
My super chat. And I'll find it. I'm going through them all. Billy Belford said, get shredded with Sterger. Dude, maybe that's the show. Maybe that's the show. I don't know.
The thing though is I always feel like I'm in good shape, and then I will stand next to wrestlers and I'll be like, no, I'm skinny fat.
Are you out of your mind?
I'm serious, because being next to people that are like legit ripped, you're like, oh, I thought I was in shape. No, I'm not.
You are not skinny fat. You're fit. You are fit as a mofo. Don't be crazy. Don't act crazy.
Like I said, I'm going to get jacked. These are going to be huge pythons when I leave here.
I have literally, you can't even see because of what I'm wearing.
Mark Andraco is actually, he's my barometer for when I'm in shape and when I'm not in shape. I hope.
Why? Because he tells you?
Oh, he's so honest. He'll be like,
true.
Jen, you're getting way too thin. Jen, you're looking a little thick right now. I'm like, Mark. And he's like, yeah, I'm the one that has to keep you honest.
I love that. And he does the same thing for me. Andrew, I see you. You said, hey, beautiful ladies, let's go Florida State, Jen.
Nice.
No wonder you wanted that red. There's so many of you Florida Staters.
Yeah. I didn't realize that Seminoles. I didn't realize that that Christian went there. Like we all I realized it once I joined Schmodown that everybody was from Florida State, and I was just like, oh wow.
Yeah, there's something in the water there that makes you guys movie trivia
dorks. Yes.
I was gonna say movie trivia incredible people, dorks, total
dorks, absolute dorks.
Speaking of the people, I don't want to miss anybody, so let's go into some of these Streamlabs and also the Patreon questions. And the streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Weston Iris says, welcome to the band, Jen. Shortly before we were all put on house arrest, I sent Roxy a stunner for self-defense. That is true. I thought it was a flashlight, so I hit the button. Okay. He says, not that it should actually happen, but how much would you have to be paid to let her stun you?
Here's the thing about my body. It looks like it's very functional and very in shape and strong.
Yeah, it does.
It's made out of graham crackers. Like, I don't have a very good pain tolerance when it comes to external things. Like, I'm used to living at a certain amount of discomfort and pain just based on like dumb health issues that I have.
You say that, it hurts my heart.
It's fine.
It's not fine.
Everything's fine.
Okay, it's not really fine, but yeah, you have to live with that truth, so it's fine. It's fine.
But exactly, everything's fine.
Mhm.
But that's the whole reason, like, people ask all the time, they're like, would you ever want to get in a wrestling ring? And I'm like, and feel like I put my body through multiple mini car accidents every time I went to work? No, couldn't do it. Like, so much respect for all the wrestlers that can do it. I went through it. I went through like the Diva camp like in 2013, which is when they like train you to wrestle.
Mhm.
And I thought I was in fairly good shape then, and I was in nowhere near the shape that I am in now. But like in my brain, I was like, oh yeah, I'm strong. Went and I did it, and I think I broke my neck within the first 2.5 weeks.
You
Yeah.
broke your neck?
Yeah.
Doing what?
I don't even remember because I also had a concussion. Like, it was rough, you know what I mean?
But you're ballsy, Jen, because I remember when we were in Houston. Do you remember when we were backstage and you were doing the rope, whatever that is?
Yeah, and I fucked up because I didn't have the right gear on. So like I basically just tied myself up in between the ropes because I didn't have boots on that would like hold the rope a certain way.
But I was
so
like,
dumb.
damn, she's like going for it. Like you see things and you're like, I'm gonna tackle that.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's an epic fail, but that's part of the fun of it, right?
I guess. I mean,
Like the gorilla bow hitting Cody in the nuts. Granted, it didn't hurt me, but like
just that imagery, I can't even handle.
he was so mad and just laying on the floor crying. Like, oh my God. He couldn't even speak. Like, it knocked the air out of him. And it was like, he goes, Jen, it was the first time I think I've looked at you and I felt like you were genuinely sorry.
Did you say sorry?
I was like, oh my God, that looked like it hurt.
I literally,
you know when you're like, I'm not supposed to laugh at this, but it's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, that feeling. That's so brutal. Going back into the Streamlabs, Paul Denuzio says, just showing some love to two of the hardest working women I know. Good luck, Jen, with Swing Break. First episode is a blast.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. We're trying new things out on the show now because it's Swing Break is just a version of Swings and Misses, which is the show I do with Cody and our friend Eddie Pence. Since we're
I didn't know that you were furloughed until you said that earlier on the show.
Furloughed. It sucks. So like we weren't allowed to use Swings and Misses because it's property of our job, you know. So we had to.
And are you hoping that comes? Are they hoping that it comes back when?
Yeah, okay, we're going back to work on June 1st. I'm not worried about that.
Great.
It's more just I being the hard worker that I am. I'm like, I don't want to lose my momentum.
Yeah,
because we were really growing the show and doing a good job growing the show, and I didn't want to lose that connection that we had with our fans. So it just seemed like we should be doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get it. Question coming in from the chat that I don't understand. So tell me if this makes any sense.
It's my friend Roger. No, Dylan cannot come and play with Kevin. Kevin weighs 5 pounds and Dylan is 115 pounds and part wolf. So Kevin would just look like a chicken nugget.
Part wolf?
Yeah, Dylan's humongous.
Also in here, Dodger Ryan says, I tried all 3. Stunned is okay. Tased is much worse, but pepper spray is 10 times worse. Take care, both of you.
Bad. I used to carry bear mace, and then they finally took it from me at the airport.
No way.
Yeah, I was pissed.
Wow. What did they say?
I got on so many flights with this bear mace in my purse, and
was it above 3 ounces or under?
No, under. It looked like an inhaler. Like they wouldn't have even known. And then one day, like someone was like, and I was like, you only know what that is if it's been used on you, you creep.
Yeah, no joke. Did you say that? I will.
No.
I wish and I hope you did. In my mind, it came out. More on the Streamlabs, guys. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Alec Miller says, Jen, Roxy, you're both badasses. Jen, who is your favorite wrestler to work with in AEW? Schmodown, and who's your favorite Schmodown competitor?
Oh, my favorite wrestlers to work with in AEW. I I have a couple that I really enjoy working with. Pac is amazing. We always do really good work together, and I think I find him genuinely scary, even though he's like a super nice guy on the DL. And MJF and I have really good chemistry in terms of comedy timing. Like I work really well with him. That said, MJF is MJF. And if you don't know what that means, just watch some of his work and you'll understand. I feel like he is Tom Dagnino, but like on a whole different level. Do you know what I mean? If Tom Dagnino and Andrew Guy full heel had a baby, that's MJF, because he's so talented on the microphone, and the stuff that comes out of his mouth, you're just like, no one else could get away with this except for you. In terms of people I love doing promo work with and on the mic, I really, you're always great on the mic, Roxy. I enjoy working with you.
Thanks,
but the guys, I feel like it would be Tom, because I never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, he keeps you on your toes. I mean, he keeps everybody on his toes.
Tom, Andrew Guy, obviously.
Yeah,
because
he's amazing.
He's brilliant on the mic. And I feel like the one that gets overlooked a lot is Video Drew.
Yeah, she's incredible. She's incredible. I mean, talk about you don't know what you're going to get, but then like different. She's so unique. I agree with you. I think she's really awesome.
Yeah.
And she does get overlooked.
Yeah,
her mic skills.
I don't think that I think people are sleeping on her as far as how talented she is of a performer, because certain people play the match and they are a character outside the match, but then when they get in the match, they get so focused on the game, they lose character. She will not break character the entire match.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is a whole different level of performance and competition. You know what I mean?
When she came on this show, she said it feels like something washes over her. Like she was like, I don't mean to sound like too woo-woo, but like when I'm Video Drew, like it washes over me and I'm Video Drew. Like I'm not trying to perform. I just become Video Drew. And I was like, that is so wild.
I could not stop laughing the entire time. She's like putting on lipstick the entire match, and there's no lines on the lips. Like none. It's just all over her face. She's eating it. Like I'm just like,
I know.
I don't know how anyone kept a straight face during that match.
Crazy. I agree. Keeping going in the Streamlabs. Billy Belford says, holy shit. Action Army First Ladies, Jessica is the best. Oh my God.
I keep saying, this is the thing. While we're in this time, I need Action Army and other members of the Schmodown community to step up, because I would like to do more performing in terms of the Schmodown, but I don't want to lose my job as an interviewer, because I do feel like that's where I fit the best. I work well off of the personalities that are in the Schmodown.
Incredible in that.
But that said, I would like to act more. So I pitched to Christian. I was like, Christian, you have to let me do like a very Passions-esque storyline where like Jennifer and Jessica are either evil twins, or like I bump my head and like I become.
You think you're Jessica?
Exactly.
Oh my God, I love
he's like,
that.
He goes, no, it's too far. It's too far.
No, it's too awesome.
Silly. I go, let's do it. Like, isn't that what being silly is all about? If Tom Dagnino gets to put on a bank robbing mask that's got a mustache on it, you know what I mean? What's
everybody in here right now is saying yes. PLD says yes. Jake Yakoveta says hell yeah. Yes, please from Danny. Everybody's saying yes. Come on.
It's so stupid, but
that would be awesome.
I feel like I would kill it at that storyline. So
1000%. And literally every person in here agrees. And I agree too. But Billy Belford, what he said was, after saying Jessica is the best, of course, Swing and Misses is so great. Eddie Pence is my fellow Redskins fan. AEW is amazing. Never use a mental spatula on a non-stick pan, you savages. I'm so hype right now. What's your favorite Schmodown interview? That's a lot, Billy.
Oh God, my favorite interview. I don't know. Any interview with Roca tends to go off the rails because he says something and like doesn't know. His mind is so pure and it comes from such an old school wrestling place that he doesn't realize like how some things can be
Come
misinterpreted.
off.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
see
in my
that.
head, when Roka's cutting a promo, half the time I'm just like phrasing Roka, phrasing.
I know. I
Like,
know. He has the greatest energy about
what did
it,
he
but
say? He's like, I'm gonna come at you so hard. And I was just like,
yeah, I know.
I
Thank you.
just take a breath and stare at the camera and go,
You heard it here. Yeah.
exactly. You heard it, guys. He's gonna come at you like,
And he's gonna come hard and he's gonna come fast and he's coming
he says he's
on all of
gonna,
you.
what else he call himself? He's like, let's see if you can hang and bang with the biggest piece of meat in the schmodown. And I was just like,
I'm sorry, what? I don't think I can hang and bang with the biggest piece of meat in the schmodown. Moving forward, Lloyd Nance says Roxy and Jenn, two of the most beautiful women of world. Yes, thanks, Lloyd. Beautiful women of world. Jake Yacovetta says Booty Sprout and Kevin. Word. Kevin's got that booty pop going on. He wanted to play with the booty sprout.
He got his booty pop this morning because he walked out, made direct eye contact with me, and pissed on the rug. And I was just like, he's still in that puppy phase where like if you don't get him up in the morning and take him straight to his like bathroom spot, he doesn't realize it. And so he's like, this sort of looks like a pee pad but fancier, so I'm going to use that. And we're still teaching him like how to go outside, you know what I mean, because it's hard to break.
How long have you had him?
About a month and a half.
Yeah.
He's still really young too. You know what I mean? Like he's still got baby teeth. Like every once in a while I'm like, what are you chewing on? And it's like he's chewing on a piece of his tooth. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my
but his balls just dropped. And so we gotta fix No.
Who's he with right now? Come on.
Who?
No, he's not seeing anybody.
Kevin?
Let the balls hang.
No, because then they start getting ideas where like he'll be competing with Cody and be like, this is mine. I'm going to piss on this. I don't need him to start marking. That's the thing.
Brandon Buck says, here's to two awesome women of the internet host space, always cheering and rooting for you two. Continue to dominate in all things. Thanks, friend. Tim Koskuba says, I don't know what's happening, but this is all fantastic. Jenn, you walked by me at the New York City Schmodown in January 2019, but you looked so radiant, I literally couldn't form words. We know Roxy's heart. We know Roxy Heart's chocolate chip cookies. What are your dessert weaknesses?
Oh, my dessert weaknesses.
You radiant woman, you.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to think what my dessert. I just like sugar in general, which is a huge problem. I'm trying to get better at it.
It's not good for us, but I eat it so much of it.
Yeah. So even like my healthy stuff, it's got to have like a hint of. I'm trying to be really good on this quarantine. So like anything I eat, like it's got to have some kind of nutritional value to it. So like even my desserts are like cottage cheese with like blueberries and some agave on it. But that little bit of agave makes it taste like candy to me.
Oh my God. I literally am baking cakes every day. You're so good.
I can't. I live that gluten-free life. You know what I mean?
So you're so good. I can't believe you.
Cody is doing keto. And so that's what gets challenging because he'll try to make a meal for both of us. And I'm like, I can't have that kind of fat content. Like, I just don't need it, you know? And I don't want to go full keto. It's just not, that lifestyle doesn't work for me. I did it for our wedding and I got really small, but I also made the mistake of I was going through right up until the wedding. I was fine. And then like the week of the wedding, I got shredded in my body. But the last place you hold on to water weight is in your face.
Yeah.
And so I feel like in all my pictures, I have a puffy ass face and a little tiny body. I just
literally never seen you with a puffy face. There's no way.
Oh, there's way.
No way. No.
There's way.
Coming in from Hell is Wonderful. Jenn, I don't know if you talk about this, but he said, Jenn, is it true that you did a Playboy spread? Do you ever talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, God, that was a long time ago. I did it like in 2005.
I have always wanted to do one so bad.
Look,
So bad.
here's the thing. If you want to
Yeah.
take those kind of pictures, take them for yourself.
You
Take them
think?
for
So
yourself.
you wish you
Yeah.
didn't do it?
Yeah. It's not,
Really?
I don't regret it per se, but I look at it and I go, it's probably cost me job opportunities, as dumb as that sounds, because there's such a double standard
Yeah.
in terms of what is allowed for women in certain industries and what isn't allowed for women in certain industries. So I definitely feel like it's cost me jobs
That
with
fucking
different
sucks.
networks.
That's
You
so
know?
stupid and that sucks. That
Yeah.
sucks. It's so funny because I put it out into the universe. I've always wanted to do one of those, and I'll have to talk to you offline about like some of the repercussions then. But I had said out loud, I really want to be in Playboy, and then like a week later, they contacted me to be a writer for them, and I was
Yeah.
like, maybe that was the
You know
universe
what?
telling me
That was the universe way of going, Roxy, keep your clothes on. Like
I
there's
guess
ways
so,
to
but I
be in
want to take my
Playboy.
clothes off, Jen. Let me
Good
take
for
my clothes off.
take them off, but like take those pictures for yourself so that you can be like, yeah, I'm hot, and then like put them somewhere. You know what I mean?
I
Because
will not be taking them after quarantine if I keep eating the way I am, but at some point.
but no, I think it's so funny because I didn't do like the full nude thing because and they actually kind of like vaguely threatened me. They were like, "Well, if you don't go full nude, they're like you might not make it in the magazine." And I'm like, "Are you still paying me? That's all that matters."
Yeah. Wow,
So,
that's crazy that they did. And
yeah.
why didn't you do the full nude? Because you just didn't feel comfortable?
No, I just didn't feel comfortable. I was like, you can have my boobs and like my butt. You know what I mean? So I think I ended up in the grand scheme of things, gave them like one boob and my side booty.
I like that. It's like a science to it.
Yeah.
You get a side booty, you get a boob. That's all you get
Yeah.
from me.
Exactly. Oh, that's all you're paying me? That's all you're getting.
You want the other boob? Need more money.
Yeah.
Mark Jason Ali says, another amazing guest, Roxy. Looking forward to interviewing you in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, we'll see if that happens. I told you to reach back out to see if I can. I'm pretty slammed, but hopefully. Jen, how did you get into announcing and sports journalism?
So I started working. I left college early to do an ESPN show, and then that didn't work out. So I think I got asked to write a first person article for Sports Illustrated, and they liked my voice so much because it was like funny and honest. And they were like, let's just give her own articles and see how that pans out. So I started doing like college advice articles. And then that was right when I'm aging myself here. That was right when online video started becoming a thing. So they were like, she's the perfect host for this. She just kind of is fearless and goes out and does whatever she wants to do.
It's
So
true.
they kind of saw me as like this younger Jenny McCarthy type character. And I got to tour college campuses and I was doing online videos for them. And that's kind of how I went from writing to doing online stuff. And I feel like SI really gave me the opportunity to like grow as a talent, but I don't think I really understood what it was like to work in television until probably the last year and a half or so. You know what I mean? Like I've still
Yeah.
been growing. I mean, I got my own television show in 2010 and I don't think I understood what it meant and what was required of me because I had producers, obviously, and I had writers, but I didn't understand what they were asking me to do. So, like, I didn't know, like, the level of prep that I had to do. I didn't know, like, I didn't
What
want
do
to
you wish
overstep
you
any.
knew then
I
that you
wish
know
I would
now?
have been a better team player and contributed more and honestly taken more control of my voice because I know that that's something that AEW has really allowed me to do is they gave me a script the first week and I was very much told, not the first week of television, but the first week I took over this new role that I'm currently working in with them, doing like more of a sports center type feel.
Right.
And it was very scripted in a voice that wasn't my own. And so it came off very robotic and it came off very stiff with no personality. And that's not who I am.
Right.
And so
And obviously they hired you because they like who you are. So what they
right?
want is for you to be you. There was no, it wasn't lining up yet at that
Yeah.
point.
And so I looked at it and I said, hey, let's just like, let me try this. Like, let me put this in my own words. Let me add some flavor to this. Are you okay with me using my comedy background? Because I feel like that's how I will shine in this role. And the more they let me do that and like be quippy, like Ron Burgundy, like sassy, that's how it's kind of evolved and it feels better. You know what I mean? And people are like, I get questions all the time. They said, do you write this for yourself now? Because you come off so natural. And I'm like, yeah, I get like the bullet points of what I need to make sure is in there. But after that, it's all my own writing.
Which is great because you're doing more work. Like you talked about what you wanted to do when if you could give advice to yourself when you're younger, you're being a team player and you're making it the best that it can be. By being more hands-on.
I'm being more hands-on. I'm not letting people put words in my mouth. And I'm just trying to make it feel as authentic as humanly possible.
But in 2010, you might not have known your own voice as much. So you might not have been able to do that because you didn't.
I didn't. But I did know. I look back at some of the things I wrote back then, and I'm like, 2010, I think I was the year that I became self-aware. And it was because I went through a lot of terrible things and I was forced to analyze how other people saw me. And I was like, holy crap. Like, you see me like that? Well, no wonder people don't like me because they don't see me as like the same way I see myself. They don't see me as like this character that's sympathetic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they didn't have any of that sympathy for me. And I look back at that now and I shot before all of this quarantine stuff happened, I actually sat down with the guy from Deadspin that ended up selling me out during the Brett Favre stuff.
I saw all of this on your Twitter. I think I reached out to you, but like, I thought this was fascinating.
So there was an article. So the guy's name is AJ Delario, and he wrote an article about how he and I finally met. We never met during the whole Brett Favre saga. I just worked for him remotely. Probably like how you did for Playboy. It's not like you went into an office.
Right.
We just were working remotely from home.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about how we actually met for the first time when he adopted a dog from my nonprofit. And I was forced to drop off a dog at the house of the man that had ruined my life. And so, a lot of people read that article.
It's like a movie.
Yeah. A lot of people read that article like you did. And they're like, I don't know how you wrote me and you go, I don't know how I feel about this. You're like, as long as you got some kind of closure, you're like, that's what matters. But like, I'm curious. You said, I'm curious what your take was.
Yeah.
So a lot of people wrote me that. They were like, I don't know if I believe him. I don't know about this. So I was just like, what's the best way for me? Because people were like, what is your angle in this? Like, that's just from his perspective. And so
that's what matters. How do you feel about this guy that fucked up your life? And did you get that closure? That's what I was curious about.
So what I did is I actually sat down with AJ and we had like a 2.5 hour conversation that we recorded as a podcast that's going to be broken up into several episodes and kind of go through the entire story and things that people didn't even realize happened. The problem is it's so funny because I was like timing the release of when I was going to release it because I was like, I don't want it to get lost in March Madness and I don't want it to get lost in this. And then coronavirus hit. And so
what are you thinking?
Now I'm probably not going to be able to release it until I feel like some of this kind of lets up. Even though like right now it feels like it would be a good time, I feel like there's so much media out there for people to digest that everything's getting kind of watered down. So I feel like the time isn't right for me to release it. And honestly, I want to be able to go back through the episodes that I've created. It's very This American Life type style. Like it's a different kind of format that I'm used to doing, but I feel like it's really honest storytelling and it's explaining my perspective of things and how things actually went down and things that people didn't even realize. Like I was the original, I call it Me Too Soon. # Me Too Soon, because it's like I was one of the original people that through no fault of my own was forced to come out and make statements about this stuff at a time that people weren't ready to hear that their heroes weren't pieces of shit.
And at a time when no company's arm was being twisted about finding the actual truth or figuring out what happened. And they only want to protect one person in a situation. And
absolutely.
And I think Me Too Soon is the perfect name for that because, and you're not alone in that. There are people who definitely have Me Too Soon stories. And I can't even fathom the emotions you must have had sitting down with him. Did you find it to be cathartic? Did you find it to be surprising?
Because we'd already had our initial meeting after I dropped off the dog, he actually wrote me because we barely said 2 words to each other when I dropped off the dog. I basically interacted with his wife, who I love. She's one of my favorite television writers out there right now. And I was doing most of the interacting with her, but it was so weird because I felt like he would look at me like, she's a real person. Holy crap. I ruined a real person's life.
Yep.
Like that was what, and he wrote me after I dropped off the dog to update me and how the dog was doing. And he's like, I have to apologize to you. He's like, there were so many things I wanted to say to you. And when it came time to actually say them to you, I physically could not utter them because I was just so shocked at your kindness towards me when I have done nothing to deserve it. And so we sat, he's like, I'd really like to sit down and like talk you through the whole thing and like sit down with you and just, if you're open to that, I would love to sit down with you and just talk with you if that's okay. He's like,
that was like the House of Pie or Republic of Pie.
Yeah,
whatever.
Republic of Pie. Yeah. Republic of Pie. And like, it's so funny because I've had to, in creating this podcast that I'm going to release at some point, this year, I've really had to kind of go back through and relive some of the things. And there are certain things that I read or certain things that I watch and my blood pressure goes up or like I start sweating and like it's just a response that my body has to that time in my life that it still baffles me that after all of the therapy and all of the different things that I've gone through and all of the time that's passed that it still affects me like that.
There are some things in life that never feel okay. And there's no amount of therapy and there's no amount of fleshing it out, like that's something that I've learned to be my own truth too. There's some things that will never feel okay. You find coping mechanisms and way to move forward in your life, but it doesn't mean when those wounds are open that you're like, oh, actually that was okay. Cause it's never going to be okay.
No. And it's so crazy because, when I sat down with AJ and we were going through all of this, I actually went back through old footage of like my interview with George Stephanopoulos, and he asked me this one question that if he asked me that today on television, he might get fired. And I think people forgot. Oh, so the question he asked me during this ABC interview was, he goes, yeah, but it was so-and-so, you should have been flattered, right?
He legitimately said that?
He's like, he's the star. You should have been flattered, right? You must have been flattered. It's kind of a big deal. Like, oh, you should have been so excited you were being sexually harassed by such a star.
That's an actual quote of his.
Oh, it's a real thing. I was just like, how does he still have a job? And I was unemployable for 8 years.
I can't even believe that.
It's so insane. Like
how did you answer that at the time? What was your response to him?
I was baffled.
Yeah, of course.
I was just like, I was like, it wasn't a good thing if that's what you're implying.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking God.
I highly encourage, and he tried to trick me a few times, like during that interview, and tried to really paint me as the bad guy. And then like, because they didn't air the whole thing, they obviously cut out bits and pieces of it, which was something that I was warned they were going to do, any kind of media. It's like, because I was interviewed for 2 hours, they're not going to air the entire 2 hours.
Right.
So they're going to air whatever they feel like is going to paint the story that they want. And so they cherry picked a lot of stuff. And, I don't really necessarily feel like I was given the fairest of shakes there, but you know what? I just saw it as a chance to move on. So I went back through all of that with AJ and went through a ton of different things. And I really hope
interesting the fact at that time that they had a man doing the interview with you. Like I feel like today that he would not have been the person that they chose.
Well, see, I chose him.
Oh,
I didn't necessarily I didn't choose him, but I chose that network. And I chose that network because there were some of the other networks that I kind of were being approached by. I didn't like the direction I saw them taking it. And I knew it was going to be even worse because everyone was so interested in protecting the league and so interested in protecting business and their relationships, because at the end of the day, no one gives a shit about what happens to me.
Yeah.
No one cared. You know what I mean? So I saw the direction that they were going to take and how their business was aligned, and I made the choice that I felt like was going. I sat down with like Meredith Vieira, and like I liked her a lot, and I thought that she'd give me a fair shake. But her co-host at the time, that I was like, oh, they could make it so that it's the two of them sitting there with me, and I think he's a scumbag, so I don't want to deal with him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So
Oh,
it's like,
interesting.
you had to like think of like how all of that was going to go down, you know?
Yeah, I still can't believe he asked you that question. Holy shit. We have so many questions pouring in for you that we have to keep moving on.
Oh, no worries.
But I can't even believe that.
But I
I'm like,
really just hope when the podcast comes out, please check it out, guys. It would mean the world
I
to
don't
me.
even think you need to ask. I think that is a
Thank
no-brainer.
you.
A no-brainer. I mean, I'm so curious and also just care about it. They might not have cared what happened to you, but I certainly do, and I know the people in here do.
And I think the people at the Schmodown have really helped me evolve as a person and like help me move past all that stuff, you know? Like that's what I say. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It feels like
they're
such
incredible.
a place where there's just not a lot of judgment, you know? And Christian's actually been really good about creating an environment that I felt safe in, you know? And if there was ever anything that happened there that I wasn't okay with, there was a discussion, you know what I mean? And he took the necessary things to fix it.
You know, it's interesting because we have a question here from Sugar Gum, and he says, I'm sorry that this has been asked, but how did you even get involved in the Schmodown? Did Christian have to convince you, or were you sold immediately?
I actually got brought on to do a different show. It was for like a wrestling show that they were talking about putting together back in the day. And
Was this with Collider, or was this
yeah, with Collider? Okay. And I got brought on for that, and then it didn't end up going through. It was going to be me and Nick Mundy, and I think maybe Roca and Christian. And it didn't end up happening for whatever reason, but Christian was like, I like your vibe. I like your energy. I think you're funny and entertaining. Maybe you should work on Schmoes No. And then they ended up going a different direction with that. And so once that happened, I think he said, what about Schmodown? And I was like, I don't really know anything about it, but I'll definitely try it. And I hung out for a day, and I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. And I think that it's been like one of those gigs that I've had that's felt like more of a gig, and it feels like a place that I can go and just entertain and have fun with my friends. And that they've just become my second family, you know? Some of my best friends are from the Schmodown. Like, and I brought other friends of mine into the Schmodown, like Shannon, you know? Shannon and I were really good friends. And
yeah,
I actually was the person that set her and Mike up.
I know. I think that's incredible. You have some matchmaking skills.
I do. I'm responsible for like, I think 3 marriages.
That could be a really cool show for you. Maybe you should be
but like my means of how I go about it are not necessarily the best. Like I told Mike, because I knew Mike would mess it up. I told Mike, I was like, yeah, my friend Shannon saw the Schmodown, but she thinks that you're so hot. And then I didn't even mention it to Shannon. And
you're allowed to lie if it's for love.
And then I brought Shannon to Jay Washington's birthday as like my +1. And then I basically proceeded to get super drunk. And then they had to like take care of me together to make sure I got home safe.
Yes, Jen. Love that.
Yeah. And I like drew out the evening. I was like, stop, guys. I need to go get chicken fingers at Crave. Take me to get chicken fingers. I'm going to stay in the car. You guys go get me the chicken fingers. Okay, bye. And I like fell asleep in the car while they went and hung out. And Mike kept looking at me though the entire night, because he is under the impression that he thinks Shannon thinks she's hot. And Mike keeps looking over at me. First of all, I had to direct Mike. I was like, don't you wear any of your fucking superhero t-shirts. I'm like, dress like a hot dude. I'm like, wear a Henley or something, like show off your shoulders. Like,
well, you must have sent him pictures of Shannon, because you know Mike and he's one of my closest friends. Yeah. We've done DC Movie News together forever, and so before anything even went down, he was showing me pictures of her after DC Movie News and was like, "Look at this girl. She thinks I'm hot. I think she's hot. Jen's trying to hook it up." And then afterwards, it wasn't until I talked to Shannon that she was like, I didn't know who he was. Like, so it's so good.
I just knew Mike would get in his head and get nervous and like, mess it up. So I was like, don't screw this up. because
Yeah.
Shannon's an attractive woman.
And
So
if
I was
you
like, go
hadn't
do
done that, then who knows? Maybe it wouldn't have worked out. So, like I said,
Yeah.
lying for a cause. So many questions. Oh my God. Tim Kaskuba says, if y'all were an AEW ladies tag team, what would your team name be? How about ECB, East Coast Bias? I don't know. You'd have to tell me, Jen. What would our tag team name be?
I don't know, but that's definitely something that I think we should consider. It's so funny because some of my favorite pictures of you and I at the Schmodown are the ones we took in Houston in the wrestling ring. You, me, and Emma look so glowish.
Yes, I know. It's awesome.
I love those.
I love those too.
Cameron took those and he did such a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he's incredible. And I love that the three of us all were like super dedicated to getting the shot. We were like, okay, Cam, like the three of us always shoot with Cam because he's like our go-to. And so all of us like just putting everything in. It was freaking awesome. I miss it there. I miss live shows, doing them with you guys.
I know.
More things coming in. PC says, Jen, your episode on Chill to Action was so great. I think everyone should watch it. Gives us a big insight into your life and how badass you truly are.
Oh, thank you.
When did you do that?
It was a while ago, probably like 6 months ago, maybe.
Damn, go check it out, guys.
I could be wrong.
I'm wrong all the time. Morse Code Z says, damn, didn't want to be late today. Love you, ladies. I'll go watch from the beginning afterwards. Also, coming into puppy balls was a fun start to the stream for me. Good.
They're so ugly. I was like, Kevin, you're so cute, but your balls are hideous. They
balls
look
in
like,
general are ugly. I'm sorry, I don't care. Balls are fucking.
They look like little. You know those mini Cadbury eggs? They look like speckled mini Cadbury eggs. They look disgusting.
They just just said that I have Cadbury eggs here, and I do not want to eat them now.
And they're but like Kevin is so adorable, and I'm just like, oh, you had to go and get balls, bro, huh?
No, you guys should all snip your balls. Ben Wellington says, hey, Roxy and Jen, really appreciate all you do for Schmodown and growing the league. What original TV sitcom would you write and star in together? Yes, Roxy and Jen are really hot, but let's remember they're people first with feelings and whatnot. All right, Ben, interesting phrasing of all of that. I don't know. I think if we had written our sitcom,
if you think anything that has been written in the comments here is objectifying at all, I highly encourage you to go check out my latest clip from AEW Wrestling and read those comments and see how you feel after that.
It's a thing. It's a thing. The sitcom, I don't know, but we would be, I feel like, I'm a little biased, but hysterical in some sitcom together, like a Two Broke Girls kind of situation. Anything like that would be so fun.
Exactly. Absolutely fabulous, like that type stuff. Two Broke Girls for sure. Yeah. I always, when people ask me to compare myself to a sitcom character, though, I'm always Robin Scherbatsky.
I see that.
That's just who I am.
I see that. Yeah, I think that's a good comparison.
I'm like one of the guys, a little dorky, but most of the time I'm like, I'm trying to be cool, but like I'm really not.
I think you are. Glenn Caesar says, hey, Roxy and Jen, happy Sunday. Thanks for joining Roxy and virtually hanging with us today, Jen. Glad you're in the Rockstars band. You two are great individually and together. Two great people doing great things.
That's why I got so mad that we ended up having to be in that angle together. I was like, Christian, I don't want to fight Roxy.
Oh, that was a whole thing. I know.
We were both like, I don't like this.
I don't love right now I don't love doing the girl just in life right now, especially in things like that. It's just not my or your vibe. It's not our
because I think we're two of those kind of girls that are just super supportive of each other.
Yeah.
And there are definitely two different types of women out there. They're the kind that see other women as a threat, and then they're the kind of women that see other people, like other women, as part of their team. And I'm always like, I'm part of the team. And the women that are like,
why you felt so connected to Schmodown, because it's kind of like our thing there. And if you're not like that, then you're not like part of us. Because we don't have time for it. Like I can't.
The only people that ever feel ostracized from Schmodown are people that are likely doing it to themselves by being dickheads or acting like there's a known familiarity there. Like you have to come in and kind of earn your space, and not in like a fraternity type way, but like get to know people by being your genuine self, and we will be our genuine selves back to you.
That's what Janine talked about when she was on the show. She was like, at first I thought that they like didn't like me or weren't accepting me, but then like I talked to them and then it completely changed and now I'm part of it. And it's like totally, because I mean I know that you think this too, but I just like adore her. I think she's amazing.
Oh God. And there's certain rookies that come in and you're like, you did everything right. And not that there's a right and a wrong way to do things, but there is. Smets and Janine are the two that I always go to and go, you did everything right. And then there are others that kind of have to take their bumps and like, figure it out the hard way, which
I've talked about it on the show before, but I think he's getting so much better. And he wrote me an apology and he's doing much better. But like Oyama, I mean, he could not have come in and he couldn't have come in worse. He could not have done a worse job. Just like guns ablazing, and now I actually think he's really growing and he's become really cool. And he wrote a very heartfelt apology to me and all these things. But oh my God, if you want to look at how not to do it at first, woof, that was.
Oh God, him and Chance. I think for me, we're competing, and it's so funny because Shannon was kind of like my gateway to Chance because she was like, he's not really like that, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I know. I'm like, that's how he comes off. It doesn't matter if that's how you're really like or not. That's how people receive you. Like, get a clue.
Totally. And because of the position you have, Jen, you're interacting with everybody, and like it's just so stupid for them to say something to you. You're not competing against them, so it's like you can always tell how somebody is by how they interact with you.
And if you interact with me on the camera, that's one thing, because interviews is the way for their personalities to come out a lot of the time. And I get that. I get treated like crap in a lot of my interviews, but I understand that it's part of the gig. Yeah, exactly. That's the bit. If the cameras are off and you're being a dick, I'm the wrong person to come at.
Like, because why? Like, there's no reason to get in your head or do anything. There would be no. So it just doesn't make sense. But Chance for sure. Chance and Oyama were probably, they were competing for the two
I think will be the first person to say that I saw him give an interview. I was there on my day off. Emma was doing the interview. I think it was because it was the Shire Wolves last match. Emma was doing the post interviews, and I didn't like how he spoke to Emma in the interview.
And I remember this.
And before and after the interview, he was rude to her. And I was like, it's one thing to do kayfabe, it's another to do anything. But I was so done with it by that point in time, because it had been like a series of events that had led up to that between him and Oyama and a few other. It's not just those two. There were a couple other rookies at the time that I was just like, where do you get off?
And by the way, they both have gotten better. That's why we're talking about it.
So much better. So much better.
Now. Yeah.
So much better. And I just remember walking up to Chance and practically grabbing him by his leather jacket and being like, if you ever talk to me the way I just watched you talk to Emma, I will castrate you in front of all of these people and you will never want to come back here ever again.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I said everything with a smile on my face, but I was just like I put the fear of God in him. And I think that like he took a step back and was like, oh my God, is that how I came off? And I was like, there was like a light bulb that went off with him in that very moment. And he was like, oh my God, no, Jen, I'm so sorry. And I go, it doesn't matter. Like, I get it. I appreciate your apology, but it's changed behavior.
Well, it's interesting because if you go back to earlier in this conversation, sometimes we don't know how we're coming across to people. It's happened to me in my life. It's happened to you in your life. And sometimes you need somebody to look at you and say, don't fucking do this anymore. Yeah, this is how you are coming across.
The barometer. To be the barometer of stuff.
And when you're a 21-year-old kid, you need somebody to take you by the leather collar and say, don't fucking do this. And clearly they needed it. So just peek inside the curtain. But holy crap, still so many more. Jen, do I have you for 10 more minutes? Can I get through some of these? Amazing. John Doe. We know MJF is the future heel of AEW, but who will be a bigger face, Darby Allin or Jungle Boy? What do you think?
Oh, it's a tough question, honestly. I don't think that there's a person that's more over right now than Darby Allin in terms of just how the crowd reacts to him, the pop that he gets. He's so different. And what's crazy is I don't know that there's much difference between who Darby Allin is in the ring and in promos than he is in real life. And I don't know I don't think it's him being lost in the gimmick. I just think it's just his life became his gimmick, and that's just who he is. Orange Cassidy is super, super over right now. And if you don't know who I'm speaking about and any of these people, highly encourage you, if you just need something to laugh at for a little bit, to watch the Orange Cassidy PAC match. Watch that. He is hysterical. He basically wrestles and that's who I point people who don't understand wrestling to, and I want to gain a new fan to wrestling. I will point them to Orange Cassidy because it's so ridiculous that I can get people who don't like wrestling at all to watch it because it's so funny.
He's the window in.
Yep.
Shout out to NFL Caleb 22. Thank you for just showing some support. Faraz Muthana says Jenn Sterger. Yeah, well, you are the matchmaker.
Someone's asking what over means in that context. When you're over, it just means that fans like you. They either like you or they hate you, but regardless, you're achieving your goal. You know what I mean? Like if you're a face or a heel, you can still be over, but it depends on which side of the spectrum you're on. If that makes sense.
I remember the first time ever when I was doing DC Movie News and Johnny LaQuasto looked at me and said, "All right, put yourself over." And I said, "What?" And he was trying to like have me plug myself. He was like, "Okay, Rox, put yourself over." And I was like, "Put myself over what?" And he was like, "Oh my God, you're so green." So
you're not so green, Johnny. You're a mark.
You're a mark, Johnny. You hear me?
One of my favorite people to teach all these terms to was Brienne, because for a long time she would write me and be like, "So just to clarify." And I would be like giving her like a wrestling rundown because she was very interested in just the science and the terms of it all.
I get interested in that too. I love everything. Just to clarify. So legit. Jacob Patrick in the house. You two are the best. Keep on killing the game. Jacob Patrick makes all my thumbnails. So speaking about the best,
he's helped me so much too. Oh, I mean, the call to action kids, Jacob Patrick, Brian D, like they've all helped me out so much to be able to get Swing Break up and running, and I cannot thank them enough.
I love that. Going back into the Streamlabs, Paul Denuzio, can Jenn teach face/heel lessons to some Schmodown competitors?
I actually have asked Christian about teaching a class that Jay Washington and I would run together, as far as like a promo class and a heel face class and like etiquette within kayfabe and ways to put your opponent over. Smets is very good about this. You can tear your opponent down, but it does you no good if you don't build him up, because if you beat him, then it just looks like
yeah.
Because the difference between Schmodown and wrestling is the matches are not predetermined. You know what I mean? Like the outcome of Schmodown matches is not predetermined. Christian has multiple scenarios planned. Even when people ask like live events, like how is that going to go down? He has multiple outcomes, and it's very much choose your own adventure, and we are all improving in that very moment. You know what I mean?
Totally. I do. I think you have to have Robert Parker take your class. No shade, he's amazing, but kid breaks a lot, does a lot of laughing in the middle of his promos. It's fine. Going into your Faraz Muthana, he asked about your favorite interview to conduct. You already talked about that a little bit, but he also said, who are your favorite wrestlers of all time or currently? Do you have favorite all time?
Favorite all time. Enjoyed the Hardy Boys. Personally, when it comes to female wrestlers, I was a fan of Trish Stratus and Lita. I feel like that's the era that I grew up in, and you couldn't little girls that watched wrestling wanted to either be one of two things. You either wanted to be Lita and Trish Stratus, or you wanted to be like Tori. And I always gravitated towards, obviously, I want to be one of the cool girls. I wanted to be Lita or Trish Stratus. I would try to wear my underwear like Lita. If you don't know what that means, it means I would basically wear my pants super low and my thongs super high.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely got me in a lot of trouble in my early 20s. So.
That was not. I remember. Weston Iris says, obviously the Schmodown needs an etiquette class before Jenn starts shanking noobs.
I've been advocating for this class for such a long time, but there are people that think that they
are great.
No, but there are people that think that they, because of the connections that they have with Schmodown, would be exempt from this class. And I don't like that. Like everyone,
I would love to take the class.
Everyone
I would love to.
Everyone should come in and be treated equally. regardless of how you got in there, because a lot of the people that come into Schmodown are either referrals to Christian or whatever, but that doesn't, just because you're referred and you know someone in the Schmodown doesn't mean that you understand how all of that works. And I just feel like if we were to have a class that taught everyone those promo etiquettes and things, it would solve a lot of the weirdness when people come in and they don't know how to fit in.
Yeah, I would love that. Because honestly, I definitely think at first I was pretty rusty with them, and I've gotten a lot better by watching and learning and seeing how you guys all do it. But I would still love, there's certain like questions that I have. So I'm going to ask him about it. But
Yeah.
I would love to take that. Douglas Emmett says, "Hey, Jen, hope you're staying sane through this quarantine period."
I am. I'm booty sprouting my way through this thing.
Oh, yeah. I love your post-match interviews. They are one of the best parts about the Schmodown. My question is, what is the most challenging part of your role within the Schmodown? And also, how do you prepare yourself to interview personalities like Tom Dagnino and John Roca? What's your method when interviewing these competitors?
I think that the job of the post-match interviewer is to make the talent shine. And while it's important for me to have questions in place, I don't feel as nervous for interviews with people that I can trust cut good promos or do good promo work, like a Dagnino or a Roca. I honestly am more nervous when it's a lesser known talent or when it's someone that I feel like I have to carry.
We have to do heavy lifting.
Yeah. That's when when I have to pull personality out of someone, that's honestly when I get more nervous. You know what I mean? But when you have a rapport with people like Roca or with Dagnino, it's easy. It's so easy.
And you don't have to be worried that if you take because you have this
I love
great way
Snyder.
about-
I love Snyder. I take
he's
shots
great.
at Snyder all the time because Snyder gives it right back to me.
That's the thing. You don't have to be worried that you're going to say
No.
something that's gonna upset, because you can just dish it and he can take it, obviously. So yeah, I like the idea that you're more nervous about some of the newer people. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Glenn Caesar says, "Hi, Jen. It's great to have you on the show. Do you have any new or old comedy specials, wrestling events, or sports events that you've been watching or rewatching that make you laugh or lift your spirits during quarantine?"
Oh, God. Old wrestling stuff. Honestly, I don't necessarily think that they make me laugh, but one thing that I have been enthralled with is that Cody and I have been watching Dark Side of the Ring. It's being voiced by Chris Jericho this season. It's absolutely phenomenal. They go into the whole Chris Benoit thing.
Yeah. There's 2 episodes on that, right?
It's a tough watch. But I honestly think it's a necessary watch if you are a wrestling fan and need to understand the context that there were real people involved there, and that there were also, it was a hard watch for me because I think they shed a lot of light onto the fact that Chris Benoit was never the same after his friend Eddie Guerrero died.
Right.
And I think that he took that loss so hard. It was a combination of that and potentially head trauma that made him not in the right frame of mind. And it's not to say that
you're not making excuses.
Not at all. Not at all. I just think for me, it made me go, wow, it's just an incredibly sad set of circumstances. And I honestly, if I felt sad for anyone, I felt horribly sad for the families that lost, the fact that Chris Benoit's other son from his previous marriage, the fact that he has to carry that name with him all the time, and people will give him they ostracized him. Like no one looked out after him once everything kind of blew over.
It makes me want to cry.
And you just watch the way that Chris Jericho brought everyone together, and you're like, oh, like it reminded me of, there's a reason that I've gravitated toward Chris Jericho and working with him, not just because he's the best and he's the best to learn from, but because he's just one of those genuinely kind spirits in wrestling.
Yeah. Can people watch just is the series like something that you'd need to watch every episode?
No. You can just watch those 2 episodes. There's 2 episodes on Benoit. I liked the one on how Vince McMahon potentially helped Snuka cover up a murder. That was interesting. WWE's had a really hard week in terms of that. We mentioned our friend Johnny earlier. He was unfortunately part of the list of people that got released from WWE this past week. And it's been really hard. I mean, I know a lot of us are losing our jobs. A lot of us are getting furloughed. A lot of people are getting fired and laid off, whatever. But for me, that particular set of layoffs was just like, oh, wow, none of us are immune, especially from companies, even with companies that have $500 million of surplus just sitting out there as an emergency fund for some reason. Felt the need to fire people.
Yeah. Everyone I know is losing jobs right now and getting furloughed. And the only okay thing about it feels like that we are in this together. But it doesn't make it feel okay. It just, at least there is that. Going to John Doe in here. When will the Revival debut and finally get the match with the Young Bucks that we all want?
Oh God, your guess is
think?
as good as mine. I have no idea if they're coming to AEW. I hope that they are. There were a couple of releases that the Revival were before all of this started, but I mean, I saw the same thing when they released Gallows and Anderson. I was like, oh, because I feel like there's someone that I would love to see come to AEW. There are a lot of talented people that got released that I feel like would fit in well too. But that to say, there's already AEW's roster is so loaded already that I don't know what space is available. I don't know what storylines they have in front of people, but I just know that
we don't know anything with quarantine. You don't know when, where, how, who. So it's hard to answer.
We pre-taped, a lot of episodes. I think I'm allowed to say that. If not, sorry, Cody. But we pre-taped as a way of protecting talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
protecting
that's
talent.
I wish that everybody really focused on protecting talent.
Yeah.
It's important.
And just the help, because none of us were like, it just doesn't make sense for anybody to be doing unnecessary travel or having unnecessary contact with that many people or being exposed to people, especially someone in my job. And this is something that I was even talking to Christian about before all of this happened, because I got incredibly sick in December with some kind of weird respiratory situation that I picked up from someone else at Schmodown. And I said, we really have to do a better job of finding ways to protect the talent from each other during this time, whether it's disinfecting microphones, having multiple microphones, things like that. Because
I remember you about the microphones. It's a big one because I mean, it really, when you think about it, it's disgusting. And I used to talk about this at Collider all the time. The microphones smell, and I used to make a joke of it, but they smell because they're disgusting. They're germ ridden.
Yeah.
And it's 100%. 100%.
Who's that, babe? Huh? Oh,
all right.
Okay,
we're getting you out of here.
Like, no, my phone's ringing. I was like, I hope it's not my boss yelling at me.
No. Okay. So we got to let you go. Far as Mathana, the Benoit ones are free on YouTube. And then thanks, shout out to Cam, who says that he just texted them to me because he knows that I can't find shit myself. I'm like the worst Googler or searcher of anything. Jen, before we let you go, I needed help with I needed makeup things. I'm never gonna get them from you. You're gonna have to.
We should do a special episode where I show you all the different makeup tricks. I feel like that'd be fun. Like the guys would have no idea what's going on. They would just I feel like they would look at it like we were doing magic in front of them.
Well, because everything you do, your contour, like in your nose, everything is perfect, and I look like a sheet of paper. So definitely, I look like a round sheet of ghost paper. Way to toot your own horn, Rox. Jen, until next time when we do that makeup thing or whatever, hopefully we'll work on something sooner than later. Where can everybody keep up with you? I know you've got a ton of stuff going on, but everywhere they can find you.
Ways you guys can help support talent right now is obviously subscribing to their YouTube channels, or in this case, please check out my new show that I'm working on with Eddie and Cody called Swing Break. That's going to be on Cody's YouTube channel. He's also doing Daddy's Drunk Movie Reviews, which is an absolute
It's really funny. It is really funny.
It's funny, but you also realize that it's 100% true and not acting, because Jay, his father, is not an actor. And so he reviews movies every week while giving you a delicious cocktail recipe. But then he consumes them throughout the movie. And
yes, he does.
Back to the Future got a little aggressive, is all I'm saying. So check out Daddy's Drunk Movie Reviews. Check out Swing Break right now.
What is his YouTube channel? What is it's
Anti-Hero Films. Oh, no, Anti-Hero Baseball. Sorry. Anti-Hero Baseball.
Paul or Jake, will you guys put it in here so I can throw it up, please? Thanks, mods.
And obviously check out Swing Break. If you want to help me out even more, you can go and like and subscribe to AEW's channel and comment on all my videos and tell them how amazing I am.
Wait, that's no joke, though. I know you're laughing, but that's what actually makes a difference, because I know them that they're reading every single thing. They want to know who's over with people, who is great. And so if you guys leave comments, it actually makes a difference. I know that all of us feel unseen and unheard all of the time. You will be seen there, and you can genuinely help Jenn make sure that she is seen all the time and is working. So please go comment. Yeah, it matters. You know, sometimes we don't know what matters or if anybody's looking. They're looking.
They're looking.
It really definitely matters.
They see it.
Especially in this time where it's just an interesting time. It's nice to be able to have that job, I'm sure. So we need them to know how loved you are. Jenn, thank you for being here today. Thank you for showing us all about the booty. Booty sprout. The booty sprout. I can officially say you made me laugh harder than anybody on this stream so far with that. That was fucking amazing.
Oh my God. I'm still sweating. I think I've got like a hormonal disorder. I don't know why I'm sweating right now.
That's good. I got to get my sweat on. Everybody at home, round of applause for Jenn Sterger. It makes us all feel connected when we do it together. Yes. Tomorrow is officially 420, and Darina is coming on.
How did I not get invited to that episode?
Dude, I don't know. Everybody who worked, like, it was hard to figure out who would be able to.
You're like, it's so hard for me to figure out who my pothead friends are.
No, not who my pothead friends are. Who my pothead friends are who work for companies that let them consume cannabis on air. Because we are doing a stoner day tomorrow. And Darina is going to be joining.
I'll just be in the comment section.
Be in the comment section. If you want to pop in, you pop in, girl. But we're taking all cannabis questions. So cannabis stories, cannabis questions, all weed shit, for lack of better words, anything with that. And then next week, we've got awesome people coming on: Andrew Guy, Christian Harloff,
nice,
Sean Whalen, who is a character actor and my acting coach, but you guys know him from Never Been Kissed and People Under Stairs and all different horror movies as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so excited about this.
I had no idea you were so connected, Roxy. That's awesome.
Yes, I'm just so connected. Me and my ghost circle face that has to get out of here. But again, thank you, Jenn, for being here. You fucking rock. You know, I think you're the best. Everybody go support her in all of her places. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for a very special episode of 420. Bring your cannabis, because we're getting lit. What? That was my best ending ever. Yeah.